All right, guys, I'm back and I have everything working now. So, what I'm going to do is maybe call up a backing track here real fast. So, when I get some rigs made, we can play over the track and we can hear how it sounds. So, let's find something kind of fun. All right, let's try this one. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you'll be notified when I go live or just, have a new video. So, and also just so I can start learning people's names and where they're from, tell me your name, where you're from, and what is your favorite feature of the new update. We'll just go with that. So I'm going to go ahead and start here. What we have is a blank rig, and I do wish I was able to get the exposure a little bit lower, but I'm not able to do that, so it'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and call up the Tangerine 30 CH1, which is based off of the AD30 from Orange. Okay, and I'm actually going to go ahead and put both amp heads in here. And I'll do the 2X thing. I'm going to put a SM7 on one side, off axis, and we'll do a 409 on axis. And we'll see what that sounds like for now. All right, now what I'm going to end up doing eventually is make some scenes, so that way I can switch between the different amps. But this will work for now. So what we have here is gain, bass, middle, treble, and master. So not really a whole lot going on. And if you know the original amp at all, then you'll also know that there's just not a lot going on. There's no reverb on these amps. It's just a gain, 3-band EQ, and a master for each channel. So what I like to do is keep the gain relatively low for a clean sound. Okay, and we can experiment by boosting it a little bit. All right, so you can hear that even going up to 75 is still relatively clean. And I'll put a blue color on there so you can actually see it on the screen. Check these mic positions here. All right, definitely let me know if you can hear me. I'm seeing audio move up and down on the screen, so I'm assuming that you can hear me okay. All right, that sounds good for that one. Let's go over to the dirt channel. Let's crank up the gain on this sucker. All right, so one thing that you need to keep in mind is if you turn the master up, It's just like taking a real tube amp and turning the master up on that, and therefore you're pushing the power amp stage of the amplifier, essentially cooking the power amp tubes, which you're going to get more distortion and overdrive out of the power amp as well, versus just having the master down and cranking the preamp. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but for me, I usually keep the master down, especially on a master volume amplifier, unless I just want a lot of power amp distortion, and then I'll crank it up. But for now, this is fine. So let's go back to our clean. And here's overdrive. Hey, Claudio, how you doing? So let's go ahead and add in just a little bit of room reverb. Maybe non-linear. We'll turn the mix down a little bit. I like that reverb. It sounds good. Let's make the timing a little bit smaller. Alright, that sounds good. Just enough to give you a little bit of space. When I'm using in-ears, or right now I'm just wearing headphones, and I'm using the phone's output going into my PreSonus 32R interface, and I'm using a matrix mix that is receiving the main mix of my virtual faders, which is the microphone right here, and then it's receiving the guitar inputs and so on. All right, so there's a lot of new features going on here. Obviously, we have the two different amps. Let's go ahead and insert one of the new overdrives, and that's the Anxiety Overdrive. Okay, we'll experiment with some low gain stuff. We'll have the low high on low there. Let me make sure I change this over to a color you could possibly see. And with the tone knob on the original full tone OCD, fully clockwise is the brightest it's going to get. So if you feel like it's just really super bright, especially if you're playing a Stratocaster or any bright style guitar, then you may want to turn that tone, maybe start at 50%, which is 12 o'clock on the dial, and then just bring it back a little bit, okay? We'll start with the tone all the way up, and then we'll just go from there. So let's go back to our clean amp. All right, so that's just giving a very early breakup, edge of breakup kind of sound. And I can start driving it a little bit. Now notice I have the level on 4. So I'm really cautious about making sure that the bypass sound is not lower or higher than when I kick in the pedal. Now there are instances where you want to crank the output of a pedal to hit the front end of the amp harder, which is fine. But for this case, I already have a clean amp, and I just want to add some overdrive to it, not necessarily push it into overdrive like you would like a tube screamer or something, okay? Alright, Alright, so just make sure you're hearing me okay and you can see everything just fine. So I see some people watching, but I'm not getting some interaction. So let me know if everything looks good, sounds good on your end, okay? Alright, that sounds good. So let's experiment. Let's mess with the tone knob now. Okay, so you see at 0 is the darkest it's going to get because it's fully counterclockwise. So now let's bring it up halfway. Let's meet in the middle here. Alright, cool. Hey, thanks for letting me know, Guitar Heel. Yeah, I'm going to mess with the acoustic simulator here in a little bit. Let's just go ahead and make a basic rock rig, and then we'll go into some other stuff. I gotta mess with this light a little bit. It's just a little bright. And I'm trying to get the screen to come up a little bit better. But it's just not. So like the colors over here look good, but this looks too bright. Anyway, it's just kind of washed out. All right, here we go. Now, I do own the HX Effects and the HX Stomp from Line 6, and my favorite overdrive is the Compulsive Drive, which in turn is the Full Tone OCD. I don't know why, it just sounds really good. I kind of wish the Anxiety Overdrive has a little bit more balls to it. I don't know if you want to say it like that or not, but I think it sounds good. Alright, now, let's just say I have a clean, that's my dirty sound. I'm going to kick a tube screamer in front of it. And this is not going to show up that great. No, it's not. For some reason, yellows just don't show up well. You can kind of see my settings right here on the side. So, the update, yeah, for the newest input is better. Yeah, they tweaked the version there. And what they actually did was they went to tweak the OCD and then realized that, no, we need to keep it the same, but just add like another version. So we still have the first version available, and this is version 2, so that way you can use them both together if you want. Yeah, it's just a great overall pedal, really. That and the Timmy from Tim Cochran is really good as well. And that's my second favorite overdrive for like low gain sounds on the HX Effects and HX Stomp is the Timmy, and that's butter. So if Headrush adds a Timmy, yes, please and thank you, that would be great. Because all my wildest dreams would come true at that point. Alright, so we're going to keep this relatively dark, not really push the level too much for the Tube Screamer. But here's my overdrive sound. so the Tube Screamer is really just there to help push the mids a little bit more, roll off a little bit of bottom end, and just give you more presence. So. Alright, great. I like that a lot. And let's go ahead and add in a delay. Actually, we'll add in the reverb, the new reverb here. And we'll do a delay. Let's do a Bucket Brigade Echo Light. Let's do some feedback. Let's turn the sync on. Tails on, of course. Tap in my tempo. There you go. Is the Headrush really worth $1,000? Well, since it has a touchscreen, and you would go and buy a tablet or something for a few $100, once you add the quad-core processor and everything else that's in here, yeah, I mean, why not? I don't think it needs to be any less than $1,000 because the gig board is $650. So it's just the way it is. That is the way it is. All right, let's kick it over to the second channel of the amp. Let's turn off the OCD. Go back to clean. Anxiety Overdrive. Alright, let's just deal with one amp head for now. That'll be fine. And let's do one cab. We're not gonna get too crazy in here. 121 on axis. Alright, that sounds good. Let's go ahead and add in a EQ. And this is a preset that I made called Focused. It just kind of rolls off a low shelf around 93. Boost about 1.6K and cuts around 4K. So all right, let's check out the ambient reverb here. Let's kick it on default. Now the attack is literally it's assigned to like your input signal. So if I have a very short attack, it's going to come in instantly. So John Matthews, I've had the Headrush for going on 3 years now, and it's all I use for recording and playing at church. I really don't play out in a band anymore, so I'm really just a studio producer, engineer who also plays at church and makes videos. But I could literally sell everything else that I have as far as guitar setups go and just keep the Headrush. It's just that good. It's just really good. Now I have other things because I like making videos about a lot of different gear because it all has the same concept. right? You got guitar into an amp, using some pedals, and then you stick a mic on it, right? Well, that signal chain is created in the Headrush, or a Helix, or a Fractal, or Quad Cortex, or anything else that you see out there that is a multi-effect, a modeler, amp modeler in a box. So if you like the touchscreen and you like the sounds that you hear people play on YouTube or whatever else, then just buy it. I mean, it's really not that expensive once you add up an amp, separate pedals, which probably cost around 100, 150 per pedal these days, especially when you're getting into like a boutique like JHS or Wampler or Strymon or anything like that. So it all adds up very, very quickly. And so if you look at it from that aspect, the $1,000 price tag for a Headrush is a no-brainer. So it's my personal opinion. All right, so let's play this reverb. All right, it's going to come in immediately. If I make the attack 100%, okay, you don't really hear it because it's creeping in so slow. All right, let's raise the tone. Okay, now we also have a release, which is how long the effect is going to stay in effect. So check this out. Okay, that longer release time just keeps it going and going and going. So alright, that's really cool. I like that. There's modulation in there. Alright, that's all fun. Now, John, just for you, I'm going to show you something real fast, okay? So I'm going to save this rig as, I'm just going to call it 8030 rocks. Okay? Now, what we can do with the Headrush is we can say, I'm going to save new rig, and I'm going to call it a dual recto. Okay? Now, I'm going to only go in and just change the amp. And the amp is called a tread plate. So if you know what a Mesa Boogie dual rec looks like, it has like the mud on the tires, tread plate kind of look on the amp. So I'm going to choose the vintage one. And all the gain EQ is the same as the other amp. But check this out. Alright, so there's the vintage one. Here's the modern. Okay, we do have an added presence parameter, treble mid bass, and that's it. Okay, we do have a gain and a master volume, so that's with everything else the same. I'll take out the EQ. So I'm going to save that and then swipe my finger down, choose the other rig. Alright, so you can hear right away that the difference between an orange amp and a dual rectifier is, one's a lot darker than the other. The orange is darker, the rectifier is brighter overall. It's just a brighter amp. But I mean, both sound good. So also what I can do is I can hold down, I don't know if you can see this or not. It's probably going to be a disaster. I'm going to hold down this far switch and switch it into rig view. Okay. Sorry for the moving around. That probably wasn't smart. And now it's focused. All right, cool. So now I'm able to choose the rigs from the switch itself. Okay, so here's 80-30. Okay, it also did change the cab in there. So I'm going to go and put the same mic on. Oh, 2000 watts is referring to the powered cabinet, and 2000 watts is peak wattage. It's not RMS level, so don't get hung up on the 2000 watt thing. Just, it's loud, and it's plenty loud, okay? Looper is great. I don't do a lot of looping. And they, John, they do have a looper board as well. Okay, so that is a totally separate unit from the Headrush. It does have some Headrush amps and effects in it, but it's not as prominent as what the pedal board and the gig board can provide. But it is an excellent looper. So if you're big into looping, then get the looper board and maybe add the gig board onto it or something. But whatever you want to do. Okay. So there is a orange rig and a dual rig. Alright, fun. That's fun. Let's go in and let's do the same thing. Let's make a new rig. And let's, if I don't hit my camera here, let's make this a K-Dirt. Okay. Everything else is the same. We're going to go in and change the overdrive to the K drive, which is a clone. Okay, let's make this somewhat viewable on the screen. Still not that viewable. You can see the clone logo right there. Okay. I need to go in and change the amp. Let's go change that amp. Let's make it a J45 amplifier on this one. Our cab keys changing. It's fine. SM7 off axis. Alright, so here's the original, here's the clean amp sound. Okay, we'll make it even cleaner. We'll go down to like 30% area. Or maybe not. Alright, you notice my green bars aren't going up very high. So I'm going to bring the rig volume up. So we're getting a nice healthy level. Alright, here's clean sound with no overdrive. And here's the K drive. I'm going to go back to stomp mode. And there we are. Now, that was very loud. The original Klon has so much level in it that it's meant to drive the front end of an amp, right? But at certain points, it's just too much. So same with the tone. We're going to keep the tone down a little bit. Speaking of boutique pedals, I do have the new Ratsbane from Wampler, the Tumnus, and the Bell, which is a Nobles NDR Overdrive. Those are coming in the mail this week, and I got those because I wanted some more pedal options to compare the digital ones to. And the Tumnus is a classic Klon circuit that Brian kind of tweaked and made it his own, but it should still sound very clonish. So I got that pedal to compare to the K drive and the Headrush, and also to the Line 6 line of products like the HXFX and the Stomp that I have. So it'll be interesting to hear how they compare to an actual pedal. But alright, that's fine. Let's save that. I'm actually going to add the rig name. Let's just call it Dirt Test. Okay. And John, if you're watching, you can see how easy it is just to touch the screen, because we're all used to our phones and our tablets and whatever else. So it's very super and quick to just get around and move things around and do whatever you want. So let's go ahead and add some more stuff here. Here's the MX distortion, which once again is probably not going to show up on the screen that well. So here's the MX distortion by itself. Okay. Checking the comments here. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, just changing the cab and also the microphone can help really shape the overall sound pretty well. So let's push the amp a little bit more. So I feel like the pedals do different things depending on which kind of amp they're going into. Alright, so there's the MX distortion. And let's bring in the DS1, which is a hot mess of a pedal. I mean, you can get them for like $30, sometimes $25, depending on where you get it. But they do have a sound. It's not for everybody, but it is a sound, that's for sure. So. Now, one thing to note, I always, 100% of the time, always keep the tone down when I'm just playing through a DS1 at a guitar store or wherever. Because it really is, it's got so much high end, it'll just bite your head off. So, yeah, I try to keep that down. It's a sound, that's for sure. That's with the tube screamer in front of it. And yeah, it sounds good. SM7, off axis, on axis. Now, I mean, it's just not that great, but let's bring back in our Anxiety Overdrive here. Yeah, I got the level on 1, and it's just blowing my head off right now. So I'm going to keep the tone down a little bit. All right, so that's enough for the overdrives. There's plenty there for people to mess with, get different levels of dirt, whatever you want. Okay, let's go back to I'm gonna go to a Princeton reverb here, and I don't know why, but I'm gonna call up a here's my M160 with a cap edge IR, which I use for years. Turn up the volume on the amp a little bit. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to build some detune type stuff. And you should be hearing that in stereo, because everything is running stereo through my Matrix mix. $20? Yeah, man. Distortions I prefer for single coil setups. Single coils lack mid-range, so I definitely have a tube screamer in there. And I do like the Anxiety Overdrive and a Proco Rat, which is the black op in the Headrush. And just for example, I'll do this real fast. So Black Op, Fat Drive, we'll make it blue so you can actually see it a little bit. Actually, number one on the Headrush as far as overdrives is the Black Op. It's basically the Proco Rat. You just can't get any better than that. So if all I had was just a clean amp and that pedal, that's all I need right there. I don't need any other amps or anything like that. Just give me a good amp, a pedal, Proco Rat, and I'm good to go. Here's some studio reverb. Alright, let's put the D-tune before the overdrive. Now you can see that the delay, we are drastically delaying these amounts here. And there's not a sync option, so you literally just have to mess with the delays here. So here we go. Yeah, obviously there's a flanger in here, John. So here's all the modulations. You can go on the Headrush website. You can see all the different effects and everything that's included. All kinds of stuff. And it all sounds great too. Here's a simple flange with no detune. Okay, I'm gonna take that out. But I do like this detune thing here. Yeah, Acoustic Sim. All right, let's make this ambient patch real fast, and then we'll do Acoustic Sim, okay? Ambient Reverb, we'll make it long mod. We'll get a low gain sound on this Proco Rat. Turn up the time on our studio reverb. Alright, let's go ahead and add in the octaves. Octave up. We'll do one octave up. Okay, we'll turn the mix down here. Actually, we can keep the mix. Keep the mix high and just turn the knob down here. Check this out. So yeah, dude. We've got that detune going here. And let's go ahead and add in a dyne delay. We'll do it stereo. John, yes, it has a whammy. Look on the list on the website. See, there's a wham. One octave up. Now, notice how fast I did all that, right? You said wham. I said, of course. I just touched a few things on the screen and bam, there it is. So parametric EQ. Yes, I have a parametric EQ right here. Dynamics, EQ, para EQ. There's my preset. Bam. Actually, I want this preset. All right, here's an octave down on the whammy. No, I did not build it. This is a that guitar is an Eastman T59V. All right, that sounds good. Let's save this. We'll call it Moon Jump. Because I don't know, why not? Okay, let's go ahead and build. And all these are in my firmware update 2.3 set list. So at the end of the week, after I'm done tweaking everything, I'll put all these up on the cloud so you can check them out, okay? Now, under modulation, we have the Acoustic Sim, okay? And let's do a jumbo. And I really like what the pedal guy did earlier today. I watched his video, and he did a, let's do a standard. He basically did like one on one side and then in a different setting on the other. We'll make this purple. We'll make this blue. We'll add some. Let's do some Ambient Reverb at the end here. You're getting one, dude. Yeah, you better get one. All right, now there's not an amp in this rig. So what we have to do, see how low the output is? There's a few different options here. We can add a graphic EQ, default, and we can crank the gain up to like +6. Let's see what that does. Hey, thanks Sumyon for the super chat. If you got any questions, let me know, okay? That is correct, Corey. You don't need an amp for an acoustic sim. But to raise the volume, you just need to go to your output and turn up the volume a little bit more. So, that's pretty fun. All right, let's see what we can do here. We do have a level on these things. So let's crank up the level. All right, I'm going to put it on the neck pickup, see what that does. save this one. We'll call it. We'll actually do FAUX. Faux acoustic guitar. How about that? Now, I do have what is it called? Sigma 3 audio. I have some Martin impulse responses. So check this out. I don't know if it's going to do anything or not, but okay. Actually, it doesn't sound too bad. That's acoustic piezo. And these are all piezo. Or no, here's the sound hole. So check this out. You can try plugging in an acoustic through it. I have an acoustic right over here. I mean, I may grab it here in a second. All right, so there is the acoustic IR. Let's add in another IR here. Martin 45. Let's try this. So that is the sound of an impulse response acoustic guitar. And here is the Boss acoustic simulator. Alright, that sounds good. Let's maybe add some low mids. Out some highs. The acoustic IRs are Sigma 3 audio. Sigma 3 audio. And I've probably had them for like 2 years, but I just never got into them. If I'm going to play acoustic, I'm going to play acoustic, you know, but I think they were like $10 a pack or something. I'm not sure, but you can try them out. Turn down this. I'm going to take out the Ambient Reverb and just put in a regular reverb. It's getting a little too crazy. Let's do a church. Turn that mix down. All right, check this out. We're going to isolate one side here. Yes, that is cool. Turn the time down on this. Now, to me, that's just a little too girthy. So let's take out some mid-range. And let me change the color so you can see that. All right. So what I'm doing, the mids on this graphic EQ is 800 hertz. So watch what happens when I take it out like negative 18 dB. Yeah, if you go to my channel, well, you're on my channel, but go to my homepage and you'll see a Headrush pedalboard series playlist that has at least 100 videos in there. And then I have other kind of like mini series based around the Headrush pedalboard. But I checked earlier tonight and I do have 144 videos just on the Headrush alone. So if you have any questions at all, just think of a question, search for it on Google or YouTube, and more than likely my video will come up. So, hey, thanks, John, for the super chat. Aaron Short, it really does sound like an acoustic. I know you're being sarcastic. But, I mean, it doesn't sound bad. I mean, it's not an acoustic sound, but it's not horrible. So, really, to me, it sounds like a really good piezo sound. Which I hate piezo on guitar. It's just horrible for me, but whatever. Now we can bring up some low end here. Alright, let's bring up some high mids, which is 2K. Let's have some fun. As if we weren't already having fun. But let's go into the looper here. Here's our looper. And it has been changed to where the feedback is... Let me try to record something here. So... So that confirmed it. So if you read the firmware update release, you know, everything, all the details, if you have the feedback on 100% on the looper, every layer is going to have the same volume. Okay, anything less than 100% is going to start gradually degrading the layer right below it. Okay. So what that means, there's people out there that do these Friptronic type ambient layering guitar type stuff, and they keep adding layer upon layer, and the lower layers need to keep getting buried the more layers you add, so that way everything just doesn't get all like crazy and whatnot. So, so that's what that is. Okay, now I'm gonna attempt. I'm gonna play something here. What should I do? So, all right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. can change the mix of that, which is the volume of the loop. Alright, I can press exit down here. And then I can go back to any of the other stuff. Okay, so check this out. Then I can just go back into my looper, press stop, and then exit back out. Okay. I think it worked good. Now let's dial in the other acoustic side. Let's see what happens here. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this graphic EQ over there. Let's add a parry EQ on this side, and we're going to choose a cleanup preset. I keep choosing blue for the colors because you can somewhat see those. Oh yes, I'm all about tasty playing. Well, what's interesting, Eric, is I have the Boss MS3, which is over there somewhere. And it has, obviously it's a Boss product, so it has the Boss acoustic pedal in there. And also Line 6 on their latest release, 3.0, just came out with their own Boss Acoustic Sim pedal version. So what my plan is to shoot out the Headrush versus the Boss versus the Line 6. And just kind of get a feel for how they all compare. Because each company, you know, I don't know, I mean, not everyone's process is exactly the same. So they each come to their own results in different ways. It's just interesting to hear like the little variations between like this company doing a full tone OCD versus the Headrush or whatever. So it's just all very interesting how they all work together. Yeah, it's cool. So, all right, let's listen. All right, it's definitely cleaned up. Let's actually add a little bit of 125. Let's take out some 7 point. And actually, I'm going to tell you the truth. In the beta version, I really wasn't too thrilled about any acoustic simulation, but it actually sounds pretty good. There's some EQ things going on that I feel like could be a little bit better. I don't want that on there. Let's make it... Yeah, that sounds good. Let's turn on the other side here. And we're going to choose the mix, and we're going to pan these hard left and right. So check this out. Okay, I feel like the left side is a little low in volume, so I'm going to bring that up. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. So now I'm getting a good stereo image in my headphones, which you should be able to hear as well. Just pop in some earbuds, or if you have studio monitors or headphones like these, then it'll work. So that is sick. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Sorry, I'm getting crazy now. I'm gonna boost some top end here. Sorry, I'm tweaking some stuff out here. I feel like there's some boxiness going on in this mid range here. Let's just take out some of that boxiness. Alright, and let me know what you think about this, because I will be putting all these rigs in the Headrush Cloud. So I'm really just tweaking things for you guys. So let me know what you want to hear. I mean, I'm not really one for putting a lot of effects on acoustic sounds. Let's just see what happens if we put on the octaves up. And let's blend that in. Maybe it'll sound like a 12 string. Who knows? So check this out. Oh yes. Let's bring this all the way to the end. Yes, that sounds good. Sorry, I got excited. Woo! I am on the I'm on the neck pickup here. Actually, sorry, I was on the middle pickup. Sorry, I was on the bridge pickup. Wow. So that is also going to change a few aspects. So depending on what kind of guitar you have, whether you use the bridge, the middle, the neck, it's all going to have different levels of bass response. So I'm going to bring the body down on both of these. And let's switch it over to the neck pickup here. Let's bring the tone up. The tone's already up on that one. Not really getting the... let's put the octaves toward the front. And we're going to have to definitely lower the mix of that. It is what it is. What else would you want in an acoustic rig? Maybe some compression. Let's do that. Let's do some Dyne Comp, which is a studio compressor. So let's lower the threshold here. Raise the gain. Raise the threshold back up because we're biting down too much. Yes, I do like Duncan Cheek because I am barely breathing, right? I am barely breathing. I can't find the air. Don't know who I'm kidding. Imagining you care. Something like that, right? I'm probably going to get a copyright strike just for singing that, but I don't care. Alright, let's add some chorus. I see someone said some chorus here. Modulation and chorus. We'll just do a very light chorus. So yeah, take the octaves up. That's fun. That's fun. Change the depth, mix width. Ooh, I'm going to tell my worship pastor that I want to play acoustic this Sunday. And then show up with my electric guitar and my Headrush pedal board. Be like, here I am. I got my acoustic, folks. And it's going to sound great. Okay. Let's take out the chorus. Let's put in an amp. Only because, let's just say, for instance, that you play your acoustic guitar through an amplifier. This is what it would sound like. That's not too bad. Let's try a white boost. Let's try this. Bass down. So I may just make a whole album of like Headrush Acoustic Simulator, some sweet dual rec, lead tones. Yes, it's going to be great. I do have a Headrush 108 speaker cab. Yes, I do. And it's right here. And I can pick it up with one arm. It's so light and powerful and loud. And it rocks. But I'm just listening through headphones right now so I can monitor how my voice sounds in the stream and all that stuff. So alright, I'm gonna mute one side. So check this out. So that's just guitar going through the compressor and the white boost. And here's the other side. All right, now check this out, John. Hardware sign. Okay, my A expression pedal over here. I'm going to press plus. I'm going to go to mix. And I'm going to go to, is that what I want to do? Is that what I want to do? Output? No. I thought it was mix. And then maybe like level or something. Yeah, so I'm changing the level of A. Which is kind of neat. Or I can do this. There's all kinds of different ways of doing this. Alright, so I'm going to go back to hardware sign, take out that. I'm just going to simply add a volume pedal. Okay, and what I'm going to do, since the volume is before this right side, if I bring the hill down, all you're going to hear is the left. Oh, shoot. Something happened. Sorry. That was way too loud. My bad. Right, so now you're just hearing it in the left ear. Now, toe down on the volume pedal. Now it blended in the right side. Alright, so check this out. I'm going to go back to my moon jump. We're going to split the rig so it's, half and half like this. And let's put the amp at the end. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to add the volume pedal on the hardware sign. We want to make it volume. All right, so check this out. Sorry, take out that wham. So I should be able to bring in and out the Ambient Reverb from the level of the volume pedal here. should be able to anyway. Let's bypass our wet effects on the other side. Sorry, maybe I need to put it after it. There we go. Right, see what I did there? All right, I figured out what I was trying to do. So volume pedal after the effect will kill the effect, okay? But you can essentially just bring it in and out. So there you go. That's a fun way of doing it. Sean says, what's your favorite thing on the update so far? Well, before tonight, I guess it was the, I mean, I really like ambient stuff, so the Ambient Reverb is cool. I like having the octaves up. Really, the drive pedals, I mean, the Anxiety Overdrive is cool. But I still just love the Rat. There's the classic Rat with the tube screamer. That's what I like the best. The Klon sounds good in certain instances. It really just depends on what you're going for or what kind of sound you want. And my ears just want to hear certain things. And if the pedal doesn't give me that, then I just use something else, right? So the Rat, for me, is the way to go. But take out that volume pedal and this IR, and there's really not a whole lot else to do with this one. Let's just bring back in the detune. We'll make it subtle. Let's go ahead and loop this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can save this loop, John, if you're still watching, okay? So check this out. Back to a different, there we go. Hello. the gain all the way up? I'm not getting much gain. Alright, let's do this. Let's crank the master. Stop that looper for a second. So what I just had to do there, I wasn't getting a lot of preamp gain from the amp, so I just cranked the master, which gave me more power amp juice, and that put it over the top for what I wanted. So let's start back this loop here. Kick in the tube screw. Actually, let's kick in the anxiety overdrive on top of this. Here. Let's do a 30 watt. Well, I am playing, but alright, that sounds good. Let's go back to my faux acoustic guitar. Well, yes, it does. It does make a difference. But in this case, all I have before the amp is just, I really had nothing. So. also crank the mids up, which on some amps actually add more gain to the circuit. Just it kind of depends on if the EQ is before the gain stage or after the gain stage. So this is probably just one of those kind of amps you gotta crank the master to get some juice out of it. So I don't know. But it does sound good. I'm going back to my faux acoustic sound. I just love the sound. It's so fun to play. And if you don't like the detune, you can just take that off. Let's show you. Let's show you some stuff here. So, for example, let's go back to the top, which this is the rig I used for my video that I released today. And my wife is home. I hear the garage door. I do have some scenes across the top, so here's my clean scene. And what I'm doing is I'm stealing a Peter Workman thing here. So I'm lowering the gain by like 6 dB, which is reducing the gain to the front end of the amp. It's just cleaning it up more. But then on the rhythm sound, it takes the EQ off and adds in a para EQ after the amp. So it adds more gain. Then the lead sound adds in a tube screamer. Alright, but what I wanted to show you here is real fast. If let's say I save this rig. Let me move this up so you can kind of see the switches a little bit here. It's not gonna be perfect. Alright, so here's my 4 switches right here. Okay, you can see the lead is saved, or the lead is on, I'm saving the rig. Okay. Now, if I go to the next rig and I go to my clean scene and then save it, now the clean LED is lit up. So now watch. If I go back to my other rig, the lead LED is lit. Okay, so this is an update from a few years, from many years already. I've been asking about this feature forever. Okay, because I was like, guys, when you make some rigs and you create scenes in them, if you're on a certain scene and then you go to another rig and then you come back, you can't tell what scene you had on before. I mean, you can hear it, but your mind can't remember. Like, oh yeah, I was on switch 2 on my rhythm patch or something, right? You just can't remember all that, especially when you're playing a full set of like 4 hours and 100 songs, and you just can't remember all that stuff. So you have to have the LED on to let you know which scene you previously came from. Okay. So for me, I know I was on the lead scene. I go back to my other rig, and now it's on the clean scene. Alright, right, so does that make sense? That's why they add that in there. It wasn't just for me. I mean, there's other people that suggested this as well, but I have been hounding them for at least 2 good years on like, guys, you gotta get that LED on the scenes fixed, so we know what the heck we're doing. I mean, yeah, that took a while. It took a while to get through to them, but we finally did it, right? Now, if you have any suggestions for like future firmware updates, the Facebook group is not the place to do that. Okay, you need to go to the headrusheffects.com website and then click on, let me do this real fast so I know. So we're going to headrusheffects.com. Oh man. Then we're going to click on community. And then it's acting a little slow. And then you're going to click on forum. Okay. Under community is also the Headrush Cloud and also quick tips, which is a good place for you to go check out some like 1 minute or less videos just to learn some quick things. But yeah, if you click on the forum, you go in there, you're going to have to log in or create an account, first of all. And then you're going to go down to feature requests. Okay. And under that location, that's where you're going to add a new topic and you're going to tell the world your new awesome idea. Okay. So that's the place to do it, not the Headrush Facebook group. Even though it is a place to like, talk about stuff, you just have to, that's not the best place to talk about firmware requests. Yeah, you need to go to the forum on the Headrush website and do that. Okay, so let me just, for example, let me click on something here. So this was actually October 20th of 2019. Check this out. Not talking about Acoustic Simulator or more amps, drives, and effects, which we do have. We have more of that now. But this guy wants a visual global EQ. So what that means is you just like you have a parametric EQ that you can like see the waveforms go up and down and the slopes and the curves and all that. Neural DSP and the Quad Cortex has that on their EQs. You can literally touch on the screen and move your finger around and EQ different stuff, which is really cool. Free routing or just more options. So instead of having just this view or this view, you can literally have like a whole row over here, then a row over here. And the only issue I see with that is you can only have 11 blocks. So there's really only so many ways you can have the routing versus like the Helix, which has just like 2 lines. You can place any block anywhere within those lines. And I think you can add it to like 20 blocks or something crazy like that. So it is what it is. You're kind of stuck with 11 blocks per rig, but I think that's, I mean, for what I do, is plenty. Okay, so I'm not too worried about all that. The ability to route left and right signals manually, not just output with, yeah, that'd be cool. Assign tap tempo on a separate switch for gig board. Yes, if you have a gig board, you know that the tap tempo is hidden underneath the tuner option, which is not the best way of doing that. I wish they would have done, they didn't ask me, so I would have told them, no, that's stupid. You need to do something else. But they didn't ask me, so. AB mode on a single switch, not just enable disable block. So they're like the Boss MS3, you can use assigns to hit the switch and then hit it again. It'll go to a new not exactly a new preset, but you can add in more effects on the second hit of the switch. And for the gig board, that'd be perfect. But it'd be really cool to do on the pedal board as well. And then all the great features Headrush guys can imagine. So that's a good post for somebody back in October of 2020 giving their thoughts on new features and updates. And somebody suggested on this forum, hey, I would like to see a Boss DS1. And what do we have? We now have a Boss DS1 in the update. So it just comes to show that if you request something, it more than likely will show up in a future update. Okay, you just have to go the paths that they want you to go on the forum and submit your request properly, not just get heated on a Facebook page saying, "Oh, why don't we have this amp? What the crap?" It's like, well, that's not the place to ask. You need to go to the website forum, ask there, and then eventually, if enough people want that kind of thing, then they'll add it into a future update. Okay, so that's how you do all that. So I did show you the feedback on the looper, and just for instance, let me go to my email, promotions, and then Headrush. So I'm gonna read off a little bit more of this update here. So we have all the effects I've already went over. Scene feature implementation for the scene LEDs. Updated the looper's feedback control to better support Flippertronic style loops as follows. The feedback control now only affects the loop now when recording or overdubbing. No, this no longer affects the loop when in playback. So when feedback is set to anything less than 100%, only one layer is added, and this layer is added with lower gain variants of itself mixed with the new recording. If a feedback layer is peeled or undone, the lower layer's volume returns to 100%. If the topmost layer was recorded with less than 100% feedback, the insert feature is no longer functional. So there you go. There is improved USB audio interface with certain Windows computers. I guess there's certain computers that just wasn't doing what they needed to. Updated where the high-low parameter was not remembered when toggling the anxiety overdrive block on and off. Updated where Mac files appeared in the looper's load save file browsers, and additional minor bug fixes, DSP optimization, and UI improvements. Now, let me go back to my looper here. And actually, let me choose my acoustic here. All right, so looper. If I click on the ... I can actually save a loop. Okay, so I'm going to call this AC Jam. And it's saving that loop in the Headrush. Okay, if you're still watching this, check this out. What's up, Andrew? Yeah, you're over across the pond, so it probably is morning for you. I saw a lot of complaints about the tuner on the board, but not really had a problem with. Had a problem if you mute the other strings. No, I don't worry. The tuner's great. I don't worry about that. All right, so check this out. Now we're gonna load a loop. Loading will replace your existing loop. Are you sure? Yes. So now it goes into, there's your folder. There's your files. I can click on that file, load. Now it's going to load in my acoustic jam, and I can start. Angel. How you doing? All right, now, if I had my pedal board hooked up, I can make a separate video about this, but when you sync your pedal board to the computer, let's say you had a backing track that you wanted to play along with, you can load. Sorry, I got a sniffle. If you load that into the folder that the backing tracks that your loops go into, then you sync up your Headrush. After that, you just go back to your ... load loop, and then you'll see your file show up there. So it's really cool how you can load in. You can load in a backing track. You can load in all kinds of different WAV files in here. Say you're playing a show, you want to load up a loop, you can do that. Now, the only drawback to all that is you have to physically bend over and like touch the screen and load in the separate loop, and then you have to go start it and whatever else. So it's not really something quick and intuitive you can do with your foot, unfortunately. But now that I say that, I'm going to go to the forum probably tomorrow and put in a request to where, let's say you have all these options right here, right? But just like in hands-free mode, we have like a plus and a minus symbol. Let me just show you real fast. Well, you're not gonna be able to see it, but anyway, I'll talk you through it. So we have a plus and minus symbol on these two switches. Then we have like a bank up and down and different stuff. Okay. There should be a way to access the loops that you have stored in your pedal board, and then you should be able to like use a bank up and down to scroll through the different loops, select one, and then load it up all with your foot without having to like bend over and do different stuff. Now, looping is way better for Angel. I'll get to your question here in a second, okay? The looper board is a lot better for actual looping, like real full-on looping. But if you just want to like do a quick loop with a pedal board, that's perfectly fine. It's just not as it doesn't have all the features that the looper board has. So like looper board has click track that can be routed separately to an in-ear or whatever. It has a drum loop feature. It has just all kinds of different stuff that the pedal board doesn't have. So, but it would be cool to have a hands-free mode for the looper and loading in different backing tracks, especially if you're playing live at a bar or a cafe, or you just want to pull up a loop real fast. Why would you want to bend over in front of the crowd and touch the screen and do all that stuff? We can just do it with your foot. So I'm definitely going to be requesting that one. Okay. Let me get to Angel's question here. Let me ask you, how would you rate the Headrush? Angel, it's a very subjective question and answer. I think the Helix sound great. I mean, both units sound great. So if you're worried about which one sounds the best, I mean, that's really up to you. The Helix has way more effects. So if you're just into effects and want tons of effects, then get a Helix. But for me, I like the touchscreen on the Headrush pedal board. It's just way easy to just touch, add in an amp, move things around. Let's do my Proco Rat here. Okay. See, I'm changing the colors real fast. I'm going to add in a reverb. Let's change the time. Let's change the mix. Let's add in a delay. Echo light. Let's add in a tremolo because I love tremolo. Bam. Bam. And let's add in a compressor. And there you go. I did all that under a minute. And this is what it sounds like. Okay, obviously I can tweak that. But so that's a stereo tremolo. That's just sick. Sounds so good. Let's put the tremolo after the reverb. Now, I know my way around the HX Stomp and the HX effects really well, so I can do similar things pretty fast. I can add in effects and amps and whatever else. But as far as ease of use, the Headrush just wins. It wins hands down. So if you got $1,500 and you want to spend it on a Helix, go and buy a Helix or even the LT. Right, the LT is the same price as the Headrush pedal board, but for me, I gotta have the touch screen. I love how the switches are laid out and how everything works. It just makes sense in my brain. Yeah, it's just better. So, I'm gonna go back to my other rig. And then I don't want to save what I just made, so I'm just going to discard the changes. Okay, you have the Helix, but you want to trade in for the Headrush. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't think you're gaining a whole lot. I mean, if you like the sound of the Helix, then just keep the Helix. But if you want something with a touchscreen, then you either spend way more money for the Quad Cortex or you spend less money and you get the Headrush. So unless you recently bought the Helix and you want to take it back and get a Headrush, then sure, you can put money back in your pocket and get something that's just as good. You know, I think it's just as good. So, but I will be doing some Headrush versus Helix shootouts between a lot of the new effects in the 3.0 and 2.3 updates, respectively, for the Line 6 and the Headrush. So be sure to subscribe and click that bell so you'll be notified when I release new videos of that nature. All right, let's play a song here. So. I feel like that's a little too much gain. Real fast, let me plug in the acoustic over here. So somebody asked about that earlier. Okay. All right, so this is the Van Gogh acoustic, actually a 12-string I reviewed on my channel last year sometime. And I was tuning it, and my B string broke. Which, if you know what a 12-string is, they're both all unison octaves except for like the lower 4 strings. So I was just like, all right, I'm just going to take off the odd strings and just make it a 6-string. So, no, the Headrush does not profile or capture anything. It's just a model. Helix and Headrush both model amps and effects. The Kemper and the Quad Cortex captures and profiles amps and effects. So there's a really good discussion from the Kemper guy, the Tone Junkie Kemper guy, talking about why modeling is dead or may die in the future. And just the sheer fact that everyone is so like, yes, we just came out with a new update, but tomorrow morning everyone's going to wake up and be like, hey, where's the new update? Like, what else are we going to get, right? You're always hungry for more and more amps and effects and whatever else. And what the Kemper and the Quad Cortex can do is, if you have a buddy that has an amp, you can just go capture that amp. And now it's in your unit. And you don't have to wait for the company to model certain amps and effects. You can just go out and capture whatever you can find, and that's the sound you have in your board, right? They also have a cloud that you can upload those files to, then other people can download them and put them in their Quad Cortexes or their Kempers or whatever files that you're getting, right? So Fractal, Axifx obviously is Fractal, right? Yeah, Axifx, Headrush, Helix, any of the Boss stuff, the Boss GT 1000s, whatever, they're all modeling amps and effects, but the Kemper and the QC profiles and captures those. So that's really the main difference. All right, here's my acoustic. I'm going to turn up the volume here a little bit. Let's put the EQ at 12 o'clock-ish here. Woo, man. It's not good. Turn the presence down. Turn the treble down. Turn the mids down. Bass up. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not too fond of it. Because this has a very piezo sound in it. So if you take an acoustic simulation pedal that is already piezo sounding, then you just add this on top. You're not really gaining anything. Okay. Let me get my other guitar out here. All right. So this is my Eastman T59V. It's a 335 style guitar. So let's flip this over to the neck pickup and let's see what this acoustic sounds like here. Okay, check it out. Oh, volume. Volume. All right, now it's on pedal pickup. Okay, so I'm kind of using the white boost to kind of shape the overall sound just a little bit here. Okay. We've been going for 2 hours. Good job, folks. Thanks for hanging in there. Let me know what you want to see, because otherwise I'm gonna call it a night. I think it does sound really good. Acoustic sound right there. Not sure what else I would want to do. So we got the detune, we got the octaves up thing. We looked at the feedback on the looper. I showed you how to load a loop into the looper, which is really cool. Little brother. Yeah, I have the gig board. It's right here. I have the gig board right here. The gig board is the exact same as the pedal board. Okay. The only difference is the size and the number of switches and the functions of those switches. So you still have the different view modes, but instead of having, 8 switches for all your stomps and scenes, you only have 4 switches to work with. So what I do with the gig board is I will make all my rigs and then put it in rig view, and then I'll use the middle 2 switches to bank up and down, because you can actually hold down the second switch and it'll bank down, and hold the third switch and it'll bank up. And I just keep banking through 4 rigs at a time. But usually I only have to use 1 or 2 layers of rig view. Like I have my 4 main rigs, or like my clean, my rhythm, my lead type stuff. Then the next 4 rigs is maybe just like a one-off type sound. Maybe I need a phaser type rig or a fuzz type thing or something, That reminds me. Let's make a new rig here. let's go to a... Sorry, I'm thinking. Super reverb. I'm thinking of like a Fender super reverb for some reason. And then let's go to distortion. Let's go to the round fuzz. Okay. Now, I'm just not a big fan of that sound, but whatever. All right, so fuzz is down. Let's turn it up. So that's my thing. It's like the range of sound from like 0 gain all the way up to 100 is like basically the same to me. I don't hear a big difference in that. So let's roll down the volume here. Sorry, I just changed keys. In the video earlier today, he added the K drive in there. So let's just see what happens if we do that. Yeah, but I shouldn't have to turn my input down. I shouldn't have to do that. There's the gain, like, all the way down. Angel Corey has the full-size pedal board and the gig board. So the gig board is a backup for him, for his situation. I just hate it. I don't like any fuzz in the Headrush. Not a fan. If you go to the Tri-Fuzz, which is basically a big buff. I don't know, Michael. I'm just not a fan of the fuzz stuff on the Headrush. I'm sorry, I'm just not. Just give me a Proco Rat, and off we go. Okay, let's make a let's switch this out for a Bogner head. I like the Bogner stuff. So here's the red. Now, just listen to what happened when I changed that microphone. So it just comes to show that if you don't like the sound, then change the cab, change the mic, and I like that SM7. That sounds good. And for me, I just like having a tube screamer in the front. Delete. Just drag down. Yes. Drag down. Yes. Drag down. Yes. I'll make this blue. Michael, I've had the Headrush for 3 years. I don't work for Headrush. I do have a T-shirt, obviously. Hello, I have a T-shirt. But I've just had it for 3 years, and I love it. I love the Headrush. Yeah, Michael. I mean Corey. So I do have a custom IR pack from Sonic DNA. Here's DNA Dock IRs. So Corey likes the DE, which I have these categorized in. Basically, if you had 2 different speakers and then like 3 different microphones, you take 1 speaker and 2 mics, and then you can change the balance of the mic. So DE is a vintage 30 with a 421. Sorry, let me get back to it here. Vintage 30, 421, 50%. Royer 121, 100%. Okay, so check this out. Let me bypass this cab here. So there you go. If I want to go change the sound just a little bit, the DF is the vintage 30 421 down 0%, with the 121 at 100. Or I can go the opposite way. I can have the 421 up 100% and the 121 down, 0%. So it gives me the ability to take 2 microphones and be like, all right, I like this sound, but I want just a little bit more bass, so I can bring up the Royer 121. Or if I go to the bottom half of my D section, it takes the 421 and puts it off axis. So that gives it just a slightly different sound as well. So here is the 121 out of the picture with the 421 off axis. So and then I can add in that 121 microphone by 50%. Yep, there it is. And then add in your... I mean, I think it sounds good. That sounds good right there. I'm going to add some mid-range. Yeah. Add just a little bit of reverb. So hopefully you can see by me doing this over and over and over. It's very easy to make rigs. I mean, it's just super easy. So here's a dense reverb. If you ask me, that's the only IR pack you'll ever need. So go to sonicdna.com and download my Dr. McFarland IR pack. We're going to save this as the Bogner Red. That is a sponsored comment because it does cost money to buy it, and a portion of that goes to me, a portion of it goes to Greg. We split the profits on all that. But yeah, this is mainly the only IRs I use in the studio, just because it's my concept. It's what I want to hear. So. And if you go to any of my videos in the last year or so, you'll see a link in the description for the Sonic DNA Dr. IR pack. The best album ever recorded, especially side B. Why are we talking about the Beatles? But yes, I like the Beatles. I like Abbey Road. Oh, you can see my poster in the background. That makes total sense now. Yeah, Abbey Road is my favorite Beatles album for sure. Now I'm going to do the Peter Workman trick and add in a graphic EQ. We're going to go to the gain. Then we're going to lower it by like 12 dB. Maybe lower the bass, lower some mids, lower some highs. It's the exact same thing you can do with the volume pedal. If you watch Tracy Gunn's video on that. So I'm going to turn the minimum up to like maybe 60% and then turn the hill down. So you kind of get like a low gain, crunchy type clean tone, and then the hill all the way up. Get you back into that full-on brunt of gain territory there. But the linear mode has to be off for that, okay? What's going on with my microphone here? What's going on? That's good. Okay. These tones sound great. It doesn't have the line 6 grainy gain. Yes. Yes, Michael, exactly. That's why people like the Headrush, I think. If they have any comparisons, they say the Headrush is more organic. And I would definitely say that. I like the Headrush amps, but I also love the Helix effects because it just has way more effects. And if really you could take the two and just combine them, it'd be the perfect world. On the Headrush website, I do have an artist pack download that does not have IRs in it. But you have to go to the Sonic DNA website and just look for Dr. McFarland, and you'll see my IR pack. Or like if you wait, I'll put the description in this video, and you'll see that link to my IR pack if you want to get that. Just for example, let's go to like section E has a 57 on the greenback and a 121 on the vintage 30. So now we have two speakers with two different mics on each speaker. So actually one different mic on each speaker. So check this out. We're going to choose 57 on the greenback. So the greenback just has different qualities that the vintage 30 doesn't have. So now the 57's on the greenback, but it's off axis, and then the vintage 30 has the 121, which is a little bit darker, not as bright, but also has more bass response. So the two really balance out each other really well. And that's the type of sound I want control over in the studio. Because if I'm recording a guitar part and I want it to be darker, well, I want the ability to take those two mics and just change the blend back and forth. So I'm literally going straight into my interface, Angel. So you're hearing the Headrush like direct. Okay, I'm not playing through a speaker. I just have headphones on, and I'm just listening through my. I usually listen through my studio monitors, really, but I'm listening through headphones so you don't get all the room bleed from the speakers. But yeah, the Headrush is just going out of the headphone jack, using a dual mono to TRS cable, and that's going directly into the interface. So that's what you're hearing. There's my Bogner. I'm going to save a new rig and call this M2 dock. I'm simply just going to go in and change the amp. Or we're going to go to a M2 lead, which is a Mezza Boogie. Okay, take out that cab. Okay, now it has too much bass response currently. So we'll take out some bass on the amp. And then what I can do is say like, all right, that has too much bass. So I'm going to bring down the 121 mic to 0%. And now we don't have as much bass. I'm going to bring it up to 50%. So you can hear that by balancing the microphones up or down, you can get different levels of treble or bass or whatever you want. Okay, the F section has a greenback 120 as a 121 on the greenback, and then a 57 on the vintage 30. So now it's reversed. So the darker Vintage 30 has a brighter microphone on it, and the brighter speaker has a darker microphone on it. So it kind of offsets each other a little bit. Yeah, Angel, I'll post a link right when we're done, okay? Or if you go to my other Headrush video that you saw this morning, maybe you saw it this morning, it's the Headrush feature highlight video. The link is in that description for sure, okay? It's in all my videos of like the last year and a half, because I went through and updated pretty much all my videos with the same descriptions. So just go to any other video on my channel, then in the description you'll see the Sonic DNA IR, Dr. McFarlane IR pack, okay? Yeah, okay, cool. So you can see just by doing that, I wish this was a little bit clearer. Maybe I can put it down a little bit. Maybe do something like that. I have to get the phone closer to the screen there. So you can see the 121 is at 100%, but the 57 is down by 50%. So if I go back to 100 on both, right? It's too much bass, but it's okay. We also have a low cut here, so I can bring up that low cut and take out some of the bass. So there's just a lot of different options here you can choose from. Here's a 57 off axis. Let's bring down the 121 by 50%. FK. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying. That sounds really, yeah, it's really cool. This guitar is an Eastman T59V. Okay. I'm on the bridge pickup. It has vintage style low output pickups. No, it's okay, Angel. That's why I'm doing this live stream. I'm just here to answer questions and hang out and build rigs. And now, are they gonna go back and watch this live stream from beginning to end? Probably not. But we're just here hanging out, having fun. So. These are Audio Technica, I think like M40s. Yeah, ATH M40V X. ATH M40X. Okay. And also in the descriptions of my videos, I do have Amazon and Sweetwater affiliate links. So if you want to buy anything like a Headrush or a gig board, headphones, whatever, just click on the Sweetwater link or Amazon, whichever one. Search for the product you want to buy. And then whatever you buy within like a certain time frame, like 24 to 48 hours, I get a little bit of a kickback from that. It's no extra cost to you, but affiliate links work in such a way to where when you click on the link, then you buy something, whoever the owner of that link is gets a little bit of money. So like if you buy like a $10 set of strings, I get like 10 cents or something, which is not much, but you know, if you want to help support the channel here, that's what those affiliate links are down there for. So you can check that out. If you want to buy an IR pack that helps me and Greg out, because Greg is the one who's Sonic DNA. He gets a cut of everything that gets, whenever my IR pack is sold, he gets a cut, I get a cut. So we both benefit from that. But we're just here to help. So feel free to message me on Facebook. I get messages all the time. Find me on Instagram at Dr. McFarland. And if you have any questions at all, just let me know and we'll get it taken care of. So that sounds good. All right, so there's my M30, or actually M2. Now, I wonder if I could put the MX distortion before that and have it sound decent. So let's check this out. Now, the problem is we already have tons of gain, so okay, so you already have a heavy sounding amp. Then you put a heavy distortion in front of that. You're really not going to get a lot of clarity. You're really not going to get a different sound, is what I'm saying, because you already have a lot of gain going on anyway. So, but let's do this. Save new rig. M2 lead cap. I didn't spell that right, but there is an M2 amp that has a little less gain on it. So check this out now. I kind of cleaned up a little bit here. Yes, that is a Mesa Boogie amp. So, first class tone. I'm playing. Yeah, thanks, John, for checking out. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. You're a kind-hearted gentleman there. Let me know if you have any other questions. Like I said before, feel free to message me on Facebook, on Instagram. Go to my website. There's a contact page on there. And I do, as of right now, I do have all 3 of my courses available for a yearly fee. I am going to set up a store tomorrow so you can purchase individual courses, which I think that's going to be the best way to go moving forward. But I do have that membership where you can pay $100 for the year and get access to Headrush course, a music theory course, and also a music production course, which is currently in the works. I have the editing section done and like a lot of other sections, but I still have to do the mixing and the mastering and the digital distribution sections of the course. So if you want to go a little bit deeper in the music and gear and recording, then that's a membership option for you. And right now it's just $100 for the year. So that's plenty of time, I think, to dive in deep and really reap a lot of the benefits of what those videos are teaching in there. So drmcfarlandstudios.com, contact page, or sign up to be a member, a yearly member. And I'll probably just leave that up and then still have the individual courses available for those who want to just buy the course outright and not have to deal with like a yearly membership fee or something. So there you go. Anything else? What am I even doing right now? I'm listening to this MX Distortion show. Yeah, that does not sound good. I don't like that one at all. At all. Alright, I'm going to call up a... let's do the tread plate. I love the tread plate, which is basically a dual rec. Let's go to a different section. Let's go to G. This one has a greenback with a 421 and a vintage 30 with a 121. Let's go straight to the off-axis options. Now the greenback is a very mid-range heavy speaker. And the 421 has a lot more mid-range than the SM57. So that combined with the greenback gives you a more mid-range, more nasally sound. But if you want more bass, just bring up the vintage 30 121 100%. There you go. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to save that. So let's go back to our looper. And let's load, our loop is already loaded in. So I'm just going to press start. It's a DOC, Dr. McFarland IR pack. You'll see it in the description of this video, okay? Alright, let's add some delay, tape echo, which is going to be a warm. Check this out. paste it in here. Andrew, you should see the link there if you want to check that out. Now, for some reason, my phone got disconnected, so you're not seeing the actual screen in real time. But I think that's good. We've been going for 2 hours and 45 minutes. And this is what I do, folks. I sit around and play guitar as much as possible. And with the Headrush, it is just so easy to make awesome sounding rigs, and it does everything I need it to do. So yeah, I'm not a big fan. What I love about the new update, I do like the acoustic simulator. It sounds really good. The Ambient Reverb is just right up my alley. Things I don't like as much is the fuzz. I'm just not a fan. Give me give me a dual rec amp with a tube screamer for my lead sound, and maybe a Princeton reverb or a Tweed bassman for my clean tone, or even a Bogner green channel for my clean. That sounds really good too. Or even the new orange. The new orange channel 1 sounds really good for clean. But really, I mean, just give me a handful of effects, a good sounding amp, and I can do everything I need to do, whether I'm recording a song or just playing at church or producing a track for somebody or jamming for you guys. Right? I didn't switch between 20 different rigs and have all these different options, whatever else. I just keep it real simple, and that's just what I do. So cool, man. Yeah, I think you're really gonna like it. These IRs are just great. They keep it relatively simple. They give you 2 different speakers with a microphone on each speaker, and you have a lot of tweakability there between the levels of the mics and also the low cut on the EQ parameter there on the IR. That low cut can help shape the overall sound as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I think I'm done for tonight. And so I hope y'all had a good day with the new Headrush update, and everything went pretty good. I didn't see a lot of people having issues or whatever. There may be a few bugs here and there, but that's nothing that Headrush can't correct in a very near future if anything does happen. So let me know what you think about the look of this live stream. I'm just using the webcam on my computer, and I'm using an app on my phone that allows me to use my phone as a webcam as well, which is not connected right now for some reason, but I can connect via Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's going to connect or not, which is fine. But yeah, I got a little background building a rig, firmware update 2.3 up there. I have my Headrush screen. I have me. Hello. And I have my dirty room behind me that I need to clean up tomorrow. So give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Click the bell so you'll be notified whenever I release new videos just like this. So in the meantime, I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.